48-hour fermented dough made with organic bread flour. You're dialing in this Detroit style. We've got our steels heating up. We got some cheeses and some sauces. Let's show people how we do this. Andrew's here at Sauce Talk. We have a special guest, Mike Rohde. Mike, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? Nice to be here, Andres.
Awesome. So about a year ago, we met on Instagram. And you were doing something really cool at the time.
I was doing this thing called sketchnoting, which is this visual note-taking thing. Wrote a book about it, as you can see here. It's this way of using visuals in addition to the writing that you do to express your ideas. The work that I was doing, I was exploring pizza, and the two worlds crashed into each other. So we had sketchnoting and pizza coming together, and we had a little chat on Instagram.
So tell me, where were you when I was in school and I needed to do this? I need to learn.
I think I was still developing the idea myself. I've been doing this for about 15 years, so.
Literally takes what we talk about and he makes these sketches, and you can show us in a bit, but and you detail, like we had a conversation before. I was making dough, you were note taking on it, and out came this incredible, like almost like Bible of how to make dough, but visually like appealing and helps us memorize what we're actually doing. It's phenomenal.
I think there's a lot of people that have these visual capabilities more than people think.
Right.
And a lot of times you just have to like encourage them to just try it.
Do I need to be artistic to write
No, not at all.
down?
I think I've taught a way to do drawing or sketching in a simple way with 5 objects. So it's a square, circle, line, triangle, and dot.
Like this fundamentally.
And you use those 5 elements and you mix them together and you can draw almost anything.
That's crazy.
So it makes it approachable for like regular people who are not artists.
Right.
And it lets them expand and start to use visual components in their notes. Because a lot of times you end up writing linearly, line after line. This opens it up that if you want to break it up and put something over here and something over there, it gives you that freedom and capability to really use the whole page and not necessarily work in a linear manner. I know I've heard a lot of people with ADHD really like this approach. Because it allows them to kind of move their hands while they're listening and thinking, and that actually aids them in remembering a lot more.
That's phenomenal. And you had sent me a book. We made a trade at the time. I remember, right? We were talking on
book for a steal.
Yeah, a book. I said, you give me a book, I'll give you a steal, and then we'll compare notes. Right? And then you were making pizzas, I was reading your notes, and I'm not very good at, you taught me some things here. But what you were doing was just incredibly detailed, which I found like, and you could do it so quickly on your feet, like just literally just boom.
A lot of practice. I've been practicing for a long time, so that aids me. So if someone looks at it and they expect to do that level of work by just starting, it's just not realistic. So you have to have grace for yourself and build up and sort of do it as an experiment. And every experiment teaches you something, just like with pizza, right?
Oh, I love it. That's amazing. So today, our worlds are colliding. Guess what? We're making pizza together, right?
It's great.
You're here at Sauce Talk, and we make pizza on Sauce Talk. No matter who the guest is. So I thought we would do maybe a Detroit style. We're not in Detroit, but we're in Michigan.
Pretty close.
Close by. And I know I've been watching your posts lately. You've been dialing in this Detroit style. We've got our steels heating up. We got some cheeses and some sauces. Let's show people how we do this. Maybe we can talk about some note taking as well.
We can do that. Maybe at the end we'll show the notes that we
let's go.
made.
Let's do it. Make a pan pizza, Detroit style, right? Let's talk about the dough first, okay? And I'm gonna show you what, I made some dough on Monday. So this is a 48-hour fermented dough made with organic bread flours. And this is a Detroit style. However, I use the same dough for a lot of my pizzas.
That's what I use. I use the same dough.
Same dough, and it's just really nice bread flour, which can hold up that fermentation really well. These pans, USA pans.
Great pan.
Phenomenal, right? I just coated with oil, made my whole batch of dough. Last night I made a big dough ball and put them in these pans with oil underneath it, and I fermented it overnight in the fridge. I came in this morning in the studio and I took it out of the fridge and let this thing final proof, and look at that. Now we've got this like cloud of a dough, right? I always tell people, if you could touch a cloud, this is what it would feel like.
This is about as close as you can get.
Exactly. So let's press this out. And the idea is this pan, right? And you know this too, but we want to just cover corner to corner. And by letting this dough relax for 3 or 4 hours, it's now going to be really supple. I mean, let's see. I'll oil it up just so it's a little less sticky. Right? But look at that. You just touch that. Oh, man, is it like a pillow?
Bouncing,
You can almost use that as a pillow, right? So now what we're gonna do is just, I'm gonna kind of stretch it into the pan a little bit. Just boom.
And if you've ever made focaccia bread before, it's a lot like focaccia bread. Similar kind of idea.
Oh, good point. Yeah, right. I'm gonna add a little oil on the bottom there. It looks like a little bit more, a little stickiness, right? Focaccia, the same thing, right? It's like a big pillow, man.
Sometimes when I first put this in, I roll it in the oil so it's coated all around.
That's a great idea.
That seems to help.
Want to throw some more down there for me?
Yeah, sure. There you go.
And the way this dough kind of fries in the pan, it adds like that texture on the bottom.
Yeah.
That crisp. Oh, what do you think of the bubbles?
I think you usually pop them.
Pop them. Pop them this style, right?
We're gonna get some rise out of it.
Yeah, and this might take a couple of steps. Like I feel like this is 600 grams of dough.
It's gonna go to edge pretty quickly.
It's gonna go to edge pretty quick. It's pretty awesome. Doesn't that look cool?
Yeah, it looks great.
Nice, man, huh? Now, I know you're from Wisconsin. Tell us about the cheeses. Mike brought some special cheeses today, right? Tell us about
this. This isn't something you can always get everywhere. I know in the West it's hard to find Wisconsin brick cheese. I'm in Wisconsin, so it's everywhere for us. It's like
is it literally that you just shop into a store?
I just go to any grocery store will have it. It's like $3 a brick. It's super cheap.
And it's literally called
Wisconsin brick cheese.
It's called bricks. And they must be different farms that have different styles?
Yeah, there's different manufacturers that make it.
Okay.
The one that I do is local to my grocery store.
Okay.
And they had garlic infused. Oh. They had smoked, which we've done before. It tastes really good on pizza. And then there's just traditional, which we have out on the block here. And what's nice about it is it's like got a higher fat content, so it melts really smoothly. And it tastes almost buttery.
Will you add that component into your note taking too? Would you do that?
I would add that.
You would get that specific?
I think so, yeah, because I think, if I'm doing the research on it and if someone's really serious about it and wants to replicate it, having that information is helpful for them. And they could choose, if they can't get that, do something else like Munster or Monterey Jack or mozzarella, right? Or even like a light.
I love Munster cheddar. I love the Munster for
the melt,
the grilled cheese Munster, man. It's the bomb.
So the other thing about the cheese is I cut it in blocks or some cubes that you can see over in the containers here.
Let's show us how to do that then. Would you mind? That'd be great.
Yeah. So I really like the cubes because they just melt better.
Okay.
So if it's shredded, I noticed that in this kind of case,
this, almost like a
little
1 inch, right? A little cube. Beautiful.
So I just start by cutting it the long way, flip it in on the edge, and cut it again.
Nice.
And the cubes just seem to work better for melting.
Right.
In this case, because it's in a deep dish thing, and it's it's gonna take. And when you use shreds, there's a tendency for it to darken and brown a little bit faster than maybe I want to.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So it's a little bit like if you've ever done fondue, which is kind of cool.
Who doesn't like fondue?
It's a little bit like fondue, right? It's the right kind of cheese to handle that
cheese
temperature.
And chocolate fondue, that's what I'm thinking about, right?
That's right. So, and the nice thing too is when it's cubed up like this, you can throw it in a container like you've got there. And it's ready to go. You can leave it in the fridge like that.
So you can put the lids on these and you got pizza to go anywhere you go, and it's great.
So the other thing about cubes is it's really easy to place. So when we get into that part, I'll show you sort of the way I place the cheese. This is just the way I do it. I don't know if this is the Detroit way.
So you must see everything, and you must see a lot of things that you're doing in pictures. So
I'm a visual person, I'm a designer, so I sort of have a specific way that I like to do things.
So you're seeing this as like, okay, this is my canvas,
right?
And I'm gonna do some art right now with my cubes. Let's go, let's do it.
We'll kind of get in here and I'm gonna pull the corners a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes that helps, like over pull the corner like that and then drop it in, then it sort of settles back in. That's one way to do it.
Great.
But I'm never worried about it being right to the edge.
Sure.
It's okay if it's a little off. So what I like to do, and I'll use these that we've already cut.
Okay.
I like to start in the corners. So I'll start in the corner with a piece.
So I want that corner piece. Maybe all 4 of them.
Because what happens is this stuff is gonna melt and then caramelize on that hot pan edge with the olive oil.
Gotcha.
So I really want to have cheese to the edge. I know that in Detroit, if they use shredded or whatever, they make sure to go all the way to the edge.
Cheese,
so that you really have this. And then if I do 2 cheeses, I like to alternate them.
Okay.
Which is what I'm doing here. It's like totally nerdy, but it's sort of like, I call it like my meditation. I don't know.
Sure. Zen. We had a very zen moment here going on here with the cheese. It's like perfectly aligned.
So once I have the grid here, then I can.
And you're literally alternating every other one.
I mean, I don't know if you can really taste the difference.
Sure.
So the lighter one that we're using today is garlic infused.
This is
the lighter stuff, and then the more orange stuff is just the yellow. They call it yellow brick.
Great.
I don't know if it's got different ingredients or what the deal is.
Sure.
But
how they put it,
it all tastes good.
Very fatty and great flavors.
Yeah.
We were tasting this earlier, and it's really got a nice kick to it, this garlic
So what's
one.
nice is if you cut too much cheese, you can have some Triscuit or other crackers and
Oh, yeah.
throw it on.
There you go.
Throw it on there. So I start with the edge. I do the
Okay.
edge, and then
And
I
the
just
edge is
come in
done.
and start doing the middle. And you know, I try my best to like alternate, but like who cares?
Right, okay,
It's
gotcha.
all gonna get melted, right? So I end up with a nice little grid here.
Beautiful.
So just drop it in there.
So we got a 2-day dough with beautiful flour from Central Milling. We've got Wisconsin like cheese, brick cheese.
Can't go wrong
A couple of
with
different
that.
flavors, right? We're gonna use some crushed tomatoes. These, and today we're using some Isola tomatoes. Have you had these before?
San Marzano.
San
Not that
Marzano.
brand, but I love the San Marzano.
Phenomenal.
They're
So we-
kind of a little sweet, right?
yeah, they are, and they got a
understand.
really sweet flavor. All I did was I crushed these, pulverized them a little bit really quick, and then added some sea salt.
Simple.
And that's super easy, and that's not traditional Detroit. And we might want to add some.
Right. Usually
shaved
their sauce
garlic.
is cooked,
They cook it down a little bit.
but it still will be great.
We like to keep it really simple,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
With our ingredients. So
Easy to make.
look at the design here, by the way. Now, if I was doing this, I'd be like just tossing it in. I love the pattern. Very strategic, right? Okay. So now let's talk sauce. We're gonna pour the sauce on again.
Yeah.
This is going to be strategic.
So I think Detroit pizza is less saucy than maybe others.
Okay.
I've just learned that there's sort of this idea that you should have 3 racing
All right. Let's
stripes.
do 3 stripes then.
And
Let's do
so
it.
they're sort of like positioned on the left edge, the right edge, and up the middle.
I love it.
And I think it actually works pretty well. So if you cut these in traditional Detroit slices, which is you split it down the middle and then cut
Yeah,
kind
I
of
got it.
squarish stuff, that it works that way. When I have kids, I tend to cut 2 slices, so one on either side of the middle stripe.
Why, they eat it all?
And then that way they get smaller pieces and it kind of lasts a little bit longer.
Oh, smart, yeah.
Kids are often resistant to the crust in the traditional, like it's too chewy or
Sure.
big or whatever. I noticed that my daughter and her friends eat everything. They like everything.
Oh
so,
man, that is gorgeous.
So we've got the 3 stripes.
Beautiful. And now we're ready to bake this thing. So I've got the oven, I've got the baking steel in there.
Yep.
450 for the last hour. It's scorching hot.
It's ready to go.
Convection is on.
Yep.
We have 2 steels in my oven. This one's going on the bottom.
Yeah.
And we're gonna bake this thing for about 20 minutes.
Now I'll mention that if you want, so this is great as cheese, and cheese is awesome.
Yeah.
If you like meats, you can add.
Oh.
You can add pepperoni and
Let's do it.
sausage. We do pepperoni and sausage.
Let's
in
throw
our
some
house.
pepperoni on.
All right, cool.
Let's do it. I'll take a little bit. I'll take a row too.
Take
babe.
some and-
I'll take a row. Do a row each.
Yeah.
A race. A race? No. I'll lose.
You went to culinary school. I think you win that race.
Pepperoni dropper. So we're doing this very like strategically. We're not
Going crazy.
going crazy, not letting like this dropping it. We're strategically placing it so when we slice this thing up, it's going to be
I guess I like structure. And
yeah,
order.
it's a good structure, kind of like your note taking, which is beautiful, but
Yeah.
rustic and
the way I think.
artisan at the same time. That's it, man. We're ready for the oven.
Yep.
Let's throw it in.
All right, let's do it.
Can you smell that?
Yeah.
Aroma? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Look at those edges. Just
You can really see where the different cheeses, so you can see how it alternated.
and let's look underneath there. Let's take a peek underneath that crust.
Oh, nice.
Right?
You got a good undercarriage there.
That oil, it kind of
Hear it?
seared in there. It's like fried dough almost
Yeah.
on the bottom of pizza.
Yeah, it's
Does
great.
it get any better?
No.
Let's go. Let's slice it open.
All right, do it.
All right, what's your recommendation?
I'm
Here?
gonna say let's go down the middle
We'll
and
go
then we'll
center.
cut across.
Yeah, that's great.
You get like 6 big pieces out of it.
Watch this sound.
Oh, that's the best sound ever.
I'm gonna go 6.
That's a traditional. Sometimes when I have little kids, I'll cut these in half, so you just get
Yeah,
a little slice.
I got it.
That's perfect for them.
Man, does that look good?
Smoking.
Let's
Look at
do
that.
it, man.
Look at that smoke coming off. We're gonna burn ourselves.
That's all right. We'll burn our mouth. We'll say cheers. Give us a taste. Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bravo, man.
Amazing.
It's hot and it's good. Tell us where we can find you, Mike.
Well, you can find me at rohdesign.com, ROHDESIGN.com. Everything you need to find is there.
And you got your book on there too?
Books on there. I've got classes you can take. You can find out about sketch notes. You can
Awesome.
hook up to my social medias from there.
And you're on Instagram.
Yep, Rohdesign on Instagram.
Let's go. We'll see you there.
Yep, thanks, Andres.
Hey, thanks for being here, Mike.
It's been great to be here.
Awesome. You as well. and or some sauce talk. Till next time.